Hello and welcome to the Boost Over Ball podcast, your go-to place for everything Rocket League with your hosts, K-Cube, AJ Binky, and Red. So lean forward, lock in, and get ready to go Boost Over Ball.
Definitely not asking ChatGPT how long my Buffalo Ranch is good for. 4 weeks. Ooh.
Why would it not be good for longer?
I don't know. I definitely had it for longer.
I mean, fair.
Where did you go?
Well, it's a redless episode. He's got a rematch tournament tonight, but you got you got the flu game podcast from us here today. So everybody can take it or leave it. Hopefully they take it though. Please watch our content. Anyway, hello and welcome back to the Boost Over Ball podcast. To listeners new and old, hello and welcome to the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Kyle, K-Cube, and I'm joined here by Quilly. How's it going?
Living the dream, drinking fluids, inhaling inhalers, medically prescribed ones, that is. In the thick of the winter major coming up. It'll be a month and nope. I was gonna say a month and a half, but it's definitely longer than that. 2.5 months out. Definitely feeling the effects of the winter part of it though. It'd be cold, it'd be sickly, it'd be yucky.
Yeah, it do be like that. It's cold outside here. I'm feeling probably not as bad as you, but not amazing. But we got a lot of stuff to talk about today. So we have the new season of Rocket League that just kicked off. We'll give you our first thoughts on some of the changes, some of the decals, things like that before talking about the kickoff LAN. We'll finish off EU and NA Open number 1, and then we'll talk about the gauntlet bracket and what this means for the winner moving forward. Then we will be doing a preview of the FIFA E World Cup, which kicks off next week on Monday, the 15th of December. So not a lot of downtime here until some more Rocket League, so that's exciting. But without further ado, the new season. Have you played the new map, Parc de Paris or Paris Park? What do you think so far of the aesthetics of the new season?
Actually booted up Tuesday today, and instead of seeing the France map, I saw back-to-back snow maps and said, that's enough of this game for me. For at least like an hour, I got back on it.
Fair.
But, oh my god, the snow map, that being in the rotation of Comp 2s is brutal, because like I feel like I'm actually trying to see through the snow, like ducking and weaving around snow that's not like actually there. But the France map itself, or French map, Paris, the map is insane. It's massive. People are complaining there's an Easter eggs in it, but like, you're playing soccer. You're not going around the map. It just needs to be a visual for the map. If you really care that much about the details, then it is what it is. I guess that's your forte. But no, the map is sick. Obviously, the commentator's speaking in French. Even just from the beginning, you get the "a deux trois." I don't know how to count in French. That's my guess. But no, it's definitely a cool vibe. It definitely brings a different atmosphere. Still has the stadium feel to it, as it both end zones per se have seating sections for the eggs to view. So that's pretty cool. I wonder if they do add it to the map rotation, what's going to happen with the egg cam.
I was just about to say the same thing. Where are they going to sit at the end? I feel like that they can't do that. Maybe they'll watch it from the Eiffel Tower viewing area.
That could be the move. But I feel like that'd be such a great backdrop, though, for the other side of it.
I would tend to agree. So maybe they'll put up temporary grandstands for the egg cam. Who knows?
That would be crazy. Get a little in-game adjustment. I wonder if anyone lives in any of those like buildings around. They'd be like, "Oh my god, that's where I actually live."
Yeah, that would be crazy. But I too share your comp dislike for the Snow Day map. It is a cool map. I like the aesthetics. It's very wintry, very holiday themed, but maybe not in comp 2s or in comp rotation. Put it in casual. Put in Heat Seeker. Don't care. But maybe not in your casual your comp 2s and 3s or 1s. But
it was interesting when I first loaded into it, and then like 2 minutes in, it's like, all right, I'm fighting to see through snow. And then in the second game, when I got the map again, I was like, did we just get a French map and I'm just playing snow day the whole day?
yeah, because I mean, like you can turn off the weather effects, but it doesn't like super help because like everything's white, like as it should be, right? Because it's like covered in snow, but it still just makes it a little bit difficult to sometimes see the white ball. But I do share your I think the Paris Park map is very cool. The Eiffel Tower, the Capitol building are all in the backdrop. The stands look really cool. The French announcers were a cool touch. I think that was a good addition. Also, some other changes that came to the new season are you can now opt out of animations on opening drops. So you can skip the animations to open the drops. Like it won't spin anymore. It'll just give you the item. So for those players that have a tremendous amount of drops built up because they don't want to spend the time to open them all, now is your time to do so because you can just skip the animations and just spam enter and open a ton of them at once. The next change, like kind of not gameplay, but like UI wise, you can now, like before, if you wanted to leave a match to go to free play, you would click X or square, and then you would click, are you sure you want to leave the match? Yes. And then it would go. But now you can just click one. You can choose to just be one button free play. So now, like if you're in the party or if you're playing by yourself, you can just click Y or triangle and then X or square. So play again, free play. Like it's so quick. It's super nice.
Instead of water lapping around my house, and my God, am I out of breath?
Yeah, no, I get you. But that was a change that I didn't know we needed. Did you see that the one button free play?
Yeah, I noticed it when I hit it and asked if I wanted to get rid of that option altogether too. Like that, I get that. Are you sure you want to go to free play?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's interesting. I got scared of it and hit no.
Fair. They also, I don't know if you've opened any drops recently, but I just mentioned that they now have an option to remove the animations from the drops.
Huh.
So like if you're opening your like chance cubes or yeah, it's just like open item instant. So like for people who have like a ton of them, you can just like do them all at once.
Oh no, that's definitely useful because I did a count the other day, and I think in drops in my account, I think I have like 217 just sitting. Like getting rid of the animation is definitely going to make that a lot easier.
I opened like 20 of them in like a minute and a half. I was just spamming enter, and it worked really well.
I kind of do like the animation though, so I'm probably going to keep it on.
Yeah, that's fair. The last thing that we haven't talked about, and I don't know how much in depth we'll go into today because we have a lot to talk about, but that is the new esports decals are out. I've bought 7 of them, I think. Just quite a few of them. But, you know, we have a sheet set up for an esports decal tier list. We have everything that we need to do that, so I'm sure that we will put that out probably next week. But, you know, this week, since we got NA, EU, Gauntlet Bracket, and FIFA E to talk about, I was going to kind of save some of that. But do you have a favorite decal that you've seen?
It's hard to pick because I feel like these ones just have so much more personality to them comparatively to the previous years. But like off rip, the Carmen Corp one and Shopify one, the ones they have front center for the regional winners, those ones are insane. The shop or the Space Station Gaming one, that one has a lot of character to it just because how colorful it is. There are some very few duds. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I can't remember which one. I didn't like the Dignitas one. I think everyone likes that. Yeah. I think that one had some good reviews, but I wasn't a fan of it.
I didn't love Falcons. I didn't love Wild Card.
That one, yeah.
Yeah. But again, we won't talk too much about it. We don't want to steal our content from ourselves next week because
definitely a good step in the right direction from the previous.
And you know what else? All of the paint finishes are right. They didn't tell him anodized and it was matte. They didn't tell him matte and it was anodized. So all the colors look good. All the decals, like even for the more boring ones that we mentioned, right? They still look really good. They still look clean. They still look nice. Some people will still like them. It's just not to everybody's taste. But all in all, I would say that this is probably the best decal like drop that we've had for esports, at least.
And concur.
But again, as to not steal content from ourselves, I'm going to move us along here to start talking about the NA top 6 regional open number 1 at the Studio LAN. So coming down from the upper brackets, we have Space Station defeating Foot 4-0, and we have Redacted taking down 100x35 4-2. And then from our lower bracket, we have Shopify taking down Foot 4-1, and Gen.G taking down 100x35 4-1. We then have probably the two best series of the day for NA, at least, and we have Redacted losing to Shopify Rebellion in Game 7, losing 4-3 after 2 overtime games, and just every game besides the one besides Game 1, it was a 1-goal game. Phenomenal series from Redacted, and we'll talk about that more in a little bit. We then have Space Station taking down Gen.G in 7. Gen.G winning 2 overtime games, but Space Station eventually is able to pull out the win there. And in the grand finals, we have Shopify Rebellion sweeping Space Station 4-0. That was all 1-goal games again, all very close, but Shopify, looked to have that pretty well handled. And congratulations to Shopify Rebellion and to LJ for winning his first ever regional. Seems crazy that it hasn't happened yet.
Another curse has been lifted. The LJ went just winning a regional curse.
Yeah, we'll talk about more about the other curses later. But what are your thoughts on kind of this NA open one, like their top 6 for that they played in the studio?
Not even just that, just the fact that it was on a LAN in the LAN format instead of an online thing. I think that added a whole different dynamic to it because you get to feel more of a personality with it, with the closer up cams, obviously with the walkout outros. It definitely felt a lot more personable, felt a lot more unique, and it definitely gave a much better atmosphere. It feels like a lot more is on the line as compared to seeing someone in their bedroom playing a game. So it was definitely a really cool to see, and it obvious, and it helps because we had a team like Redacted who, for the most part, has not been on LAN ever. So it gave him some LAN experience, as we'll talk about how that worked out for them in the long run. Or we'll see how it works on long run past this event as well, assuming they make more events. But no, it definitely added a different intensity to all of it, and NA or the event as a whole was awesome.
Yeah. So first and foremost, holy shit! Someone signed that team. Someone signed Redacted. They almost took down Shop in 7, and Shop won the whole damn thing. Like that was a phenomenal series. Talk looked incredible, but if he had those first LAN jitters, he did not show it at all. But Gen.G looked good until they ran into Space Station, and you're kind of thinking, okay, that Rise experience really helping out Gen.G. Maybe Space Station can put up a fight here, and they did not. So, really a good showing from Shopify here in region. And but I unfortunately, I think really the star of the show, for me at least, is Redacted, right? A team that not many people thought gave a chance to, not many people really expected them to do anything, but that, that former, it was really, it's kind of like gentle bench, right? It's Shopify and Shop Bench, wavy 2-piece, 2 former Shopify players playing with Memory, who was their former coach, and Talk. So, a great showing from them. I really hope for their case, or for their sake, and for the sake of NA Rocket League, that someone picks them up, because I can't imagine that they're going to do much worse than they just did.
Yeah, the floor has been set for them, and I imagine they only get better from here. I mean, NA as a whole, as we'll talk about in the future, outside of unfortunately 100x, looked fantastic.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, we will talk about that here in a second. But now you ready to jump over to the EU open bracket before we get into the gauntlet?
I guess.
Okay. So teams making it through the upper bracket are Ninjas in Pajamas taking down Vitality 4-1, and Carmine Corps taking down 2 Danes, 1 Bruv, which then became Man City Esports 4-3. That had 4 overtime games. That's
Which one?
Carmine Corps versus 2 Danes, 1 Bruv in the upper bracket.
Yeah.
That's insane. Then through the lower bracket, we have Vitality taking down Gentle Mates 4-3, and we have Man City Esports, which is 2 Danes, 1 Bruv, losing to Novo in Game 7, and that was a reverse sweep. So Novo reverse sweeping Man City there to move into the semifinals. We then have Carmine Corps taking down Vitality 4-1, and we have Ninjas in Pajamas taking down Novo 4-1. We then have Carmine taking down Ninjas in Pajamas in Game 7 overtime to take home a regional, and like you mentioned, Carmine Corps and Shopify, both regional champions here in Copenhagen. So
another first time, Juicy's first ever regional as well.
Yup. So again, similar to, at least similar in my eyes to Redacted, who 2 Danes, 1 Bruv, Man City did not make it to the semifinals, but that is still a very exciting roster. I don't really know what happened with the mental to drop that to drop that series to Novo. Great resilience from Novo to do that, but realistically, I think that's a series that they'd like to have back. I don't know how much they're able to do against NIP, who looked fantastic down the stretch here, but great showing for them. Good showing for EU depth, at least, to see a team like that continue to compete. But really, in my eyes, the biggest story point is, holy shit, Vitality cannot beat KC. It can't do it.
Or SSG.
Yeah. We'll talk about that in a second, but man, the evil Empire does it again.
I mean, to be fair, in Vitality's defense, no one can beat Carmine Corp.
Yeah.
They are an unstoppable force, but Vitality, obviously having Zen, they have a different expectation to them, because Zen's supposed to be quite literally the best player in the world. The EU FK of his teammates not doing enough for him. We say it every week, and time after time, it still happens. And nothing has changed here. It was either Stizzy or Exotic looking lost and making the wrong plays. But on top of that, at some point, is it because just playing with Zen, just his play style? At any point, is Zen ever going to be held responsible for any of the laps in gameplay? Or is it always just going to be blamed on his teammates? Because I feel like him and FK are just the kings of scapegoating.
I mean, I would tend to agree with you. I think that, it's the same thing with like Shopify or, FaZe or, any of the First Killer iteration rosters, right? Like, people don't really blame First Killer. Like, oh, his teammates didn't do anything. But, I mean, Zen literally 1v3'd in the first game against Carmine, and they won. Like, Zen peaked, and they won. Right? So, but, like, you can't expect him to play at that level the whole time. So, I don't know if it's a play style thing, if it's a, we talked about hero ball with First Killer. Maybe it's a little bit of that with Zen. Who knows? But, they'll have to go back to the drawing board and do something, right? Because if they're going to continue, like, it's almost like the definition of insanity, right? Doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. That seems to be what they're doing with Carmine Corps here. But in the effort of not staying too long to keep us both sane, let's jump over to the gauntlet bracket of the kickoff LAN, which I can't say enough good things about having International Rocket League so early into the season. It's so cool to be able to kind of see who does what and win. But before we talk about kind of the matches as a whole, let's talk about the event. So the studio, the production quality, the vibes. What are your thoughts on, kind of the setup in Copenhagen and just the event as a whole?
The event, I mean, again, as I mentioned before, just like the atmosphere was insane and intense. There's no crowd interference at all. There's no outer interference of home field advantage with the crowd that it seems to be the biggest de facto to whoever's playing there as to why they lose, because no one has won in front of a home crowd yet. It seems to be all reoccurring, at least in the recent past. But so
What are
this
you talking
that took
about?
away a different.
NA Zen won in Boston.
True. Cannot deny him that. But no, it's definitely it was just so cool to see. I definitely think it's just how much space they had, but the chairs were a little bit too far. See every goal, and
It
then
was a
like
little
obviously
weird,
the fist
yeah.
bump celebrate. They'd have to either reach so far beyond belief just to get a fist bump, or just to do that and just do an air fist bump.
Yeah, they were like air bumping. It was like a Moxie in ones. It was like a
Yeah. It was just it was a little bit spaced out there, but no, it definitely was insane. The commentator, not the actual commentator booth, just the talking circle booth or table in between games and the pre-show matches being in the middle added a different thing. The whole screen going at like the 360 panoramic screen with the drive out screen before matches. It was from a productions level. This is honestly some of RLCS's best work. It was insane, and this is just to start the season. So I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I'm expecting so much more going forward because I'm assuming this was a Blast thing, right?
yes.
Blast runs all this.
Blast
Because I know
Studios
they handle the
Blast Studios are in Copenhagen. That's their headquarters.
Just wanted to double check because I didn't know if this kickoff studio lane worked any different, but what they did here was insane and just brought a different type of passion to it. And it honestly sucks that this isn't how every regional is.
I mean, I like from a logistics and cost standpoint, I don't think you could do it for every regional. However, I kind of think you could do it regionally.
That a little bit more doable. I think my opinion on it is in the same way that there's that you get the extra team at the going forward for all the majors in worlds. I think if they did it for each one on the first one, I feel like that would add a different dynamic. So this would be like next year, the first kickoff LAN, this would be for major 1, you get an extra team. And then for open 4, they do another kickoff LAN, that's for major 2. And then for worlds, because there's that big gap of time where LCQs are going on, they could have another
head-to-head between the 2 kickoff LAN winners.
Yeah. We're cooking now.
We're so unless the same team wins both, then they just get the spot. Then that's like qualified.
Yes, but yeah, no. I think honestly, the fact that this is a one-off thing just for the season is kind of sucks because that was awesome to watch. It was just so intense, and the vibes was awesome. And obviously they flew out content creators, so they had the likes of Tryhouse, Chief Beef,
Jamaican Coconut, Mertzy.
Jamaican Coconut, the French guys were I can't remember.
It was Fear and Mertzy.
Fear and Mertzy, the Carmen Corp guys. But yeah, it was a packed house for having no one in it. But just it literally looked like just what it was, a studio LAN, and it was just a completely awesome experience. And I feel like this could be built on in so many different ways, and I'm excited to see. Hopefully they keep it coming back. I don't know if they're planning on this being a one-off thing, but based off the success, I was seeing this thing get upwards of 60K viewers on the mainstream, and I think that's what majors pull. Maybe not even that much numbers nowadays, but the crowds are there for it because people are there to watch it. So the numbers speak for themselves. This is definitely something that should be built upon in the future.
Oh, for sure. And we mentioned it at the beginning of the season when it was announced, right? Like they probably had this idea before last season, right? To do something like this because it's something that is done on in other esports as well. So we mentioned it's only 2 regions. It's only your 2 biggest regions. So we don't know, but we guessed that next season when they do that, when they run it back, because I think that they should, because the viewership numbers and the fan response was incredible. I don't know that I've ever seen people so like in agreement with anything in the Rocket League scene in a long time, and this was one of those things. Like, this is awesome, please bring it back, stuff like that. So I think next season they do it again, and they probably expand on it. You probably invite a Mina. You probably invite a Sam. You know?
Yeah, they get mini brackets going for them.
Yeah. So I mean, if even if you want to do like a kind of a play-in situation, kind of like a NCAA March Madness tournament, right? Like the last 4 in, like they do like a little play-in to get into the main bracket kind of situation. You could even do that too. Like, but you know, having a larger team base will only help because more people will tune in, right? Like more Sam people will tune in because their team could win, right? More Mina people tune in because their team could win, right? And at this point, maybe they just do win, right? Mina may be incredible, but we don't have that measuring stick yet of them playing against other people to kind of see what happens. But you know, man, we do know how everything else went.
Mm-hmm. And I do have one quick thing to say before we talk about the gameplay about these teams. It going into these majors, it sucks that EU and I mean now EU doesn't, but they only get 4 teams per because we're missing NRG and GK with all of how intense this entire thing was. It just shows the strength of both of these major regions, and yeah, it was just this event was awesome.
So, getting into some of the gameplay, in round 1, we have Redacted taking down Novo 3-1, and we have Vitality sweeping Gen G. That was one I didn't expect. Gen G looked horrible. Horrible. The scores in that one were 1-0, 6-0, and 4-1. Gen G scored 1 goal towards the end of that game in Game 3, and they were quickly out. So, Vitality looked very good there. Moving into our quarterfinals, we have Redacted sweeping... Let me repeat that. Redacted sweeping NIP, who made an EU regional final 2 days prior. And we have Space Station Gaming taking down Vitality 3-1. And that was a crazy series because Space Station wins 5-2, loses Game 2 2-1, comes back with a Brazil, and then wins Game 4 in overtime. Moving into our semifinals, we have a rematch of the upper semifinals from NA, and that is Shopify Rebellion taking down Redacted 4-1, including a 9-minute 46-second overtime that Shopify wins in Game 3, and a 1 minute and 6-second overtime in Game 5. So you know, Redacted two overtime games away from making it a Game 7 again. And we have none other than the Evil Empire Carmine Corp taking down Space Station 4-1. All of those 1-goal games, besides Game 1, that was a great series. And in the grand finals, Shopify did not show up, and we have Carmine Corp winning 4-0. 1 overtime game, and then Carmine never looked back, winning 4-1, 2-0, and 7-2 in Game 4.
Yeah, that was tough.
Yeah. So let's talk about the positives before we talk about the negatives, right? 3 out of 4 top 4 teams, NA. Did not expect that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I genuinely, I think...
Without NRG.
Johnny Boy? I was going to say, was it Johnny Boy or Stumpy tweeted it? I can't remember who. I think it might have been Johnny Boy. But he said, I see a world where EU sweeps NA tomorrow.
Yeah.
And it quite literally dang near went the complete opposite direction outside, with the exception of Vitality beating Gen G. It was truly an insane performance. Not what I expected of NA. This as a whole, and this stinks that the winner gets the spot. But I mean, it's completely understandable for their region. But like NA, obviously, Carmine Corp is the best team out of everyone there. But NA as a whole looked infinitely better than EU.
WNA depth. That was really that's what this event was, right? With no NRG, you're thinking, oh man, like how is this going to go? What are they going to do? They don't, because in the past it's really been NRG versus the world, right? They have not been able to rely on anyone on a LAN to kind of give them any sort of help. But you have Redacted taking down Novo, you have Redacted taking down NIP, you have Space Station taking down Vitality. So at the very least, that's 3 teams that can beat EU. I don't know if you can count on Shopify right now, but you know, we'll talk about that more in a second. But like outside of Carmine Corp, EU won 5 matches total in the gauntlet. Novo took 1 off Redacted in round 1. Vitality took 3 off Gen G in round 1 and 1 off of Space Station in the quarterfinals. That's a phenomenal showing from NA until we get to the end, right?
Yeah.
But like realistically, just because NRG did not make the LAN and did not make a top 8 does not, I don't think anybody thinks that they're not the number 1 team in NA anymore. I think they still are.
The fact that we did all this without NRG being there. So like with NRG there, there's a great chance NA comes out victorious in this situation. But I mean, we don't get the chance to see the level of depth that NA has without NRG being there. So to have a glass half full, this is NRG not being there is great for NA because it just shows how great we are as a region after the past several seasons of just looking like an absolute joke outside of NRG.
I venture to say outside of NA winning this event, this is best case scenario.
Quite literally, yes. This is NA beating the Doonies down out of EU minus Karma Code.
Yeah. And again, like you mentioned, so Karmine Corps wins the event. So what does this mean? They win auto qualification to Boston. They granted an EU 5th seed for Boston, for Paris, and for the World Championships. Potentially a 6th with an LCQ spot, depending on how they finish. But with 5 teams, I would imagine that they have an LCQ spot. What does this mean in a broader sense? This probably means GK is getting in, right? Like, it's these 4 in GK. That seems to be what it is, right? Like, that's what I would have to guess happens. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. What does this mean for NA? Well, Redacted surely should get signed. My God. But EU depth or NA depth looks great. Gen G back to the drawing board a little bit. Maybe the moment got a little bit too big for them. I'm not really sure what happened against Vitality. They just looked off the entire time. So they were, that was their first match of the day. So maybe they just weren't sufficiently warmed up. Maybe the scrims weren't going well. Who knows really? But that's, at the end of the day, that's what it is, right? And then we get to Karmine Corps, who just, with Juicy, I was hoping that they'd maybe take a little bit of a step back. It does not seem like they did. With Extra, they looked great. They had a predetermined celebration for afterwards as they crowned Extra, their new coach. So, congratulations to Karmine Corps and the Evil Empire there. But I'm optimistic, like we mentioned before.
I'm given. I don't know if it's copium or what, but this is just an insane performance out of NA. Far from what I was expecting. But yeah, going forward with how NA is gonna have to shake out for the top 4 spots, genuinely, it is such an arms race because last season it was obviously always gonna be NRG Ultimates clear as day making it. Gen G looked great. Foot looks great. Not Foot. What's that? Foot's not. It was Space Station Complexity. That's who it was. Complexity was in the dog race. But it seemed like a very clear top 4 after the first LAN. Who the top 4 in NA was. Now we definitely have 5 powerhouses, possibly 6.
Yeah. So realistically, I see Space Station, Shopify, Gen G, and even Redacted, right? Kind of repeating and kind of making that, being that at least top 6 lock, right? And that's 4 teams, and you don't have NRG here. So NRG
or
takes.
Gen G.
I said Space Station, Gen G, Shopify, and Redacted.
Am I missing one? Am I silly?
No, I said 4. That's 4 of your top 4, and then
I'm trying to figure who the 6th one would be.
NRG and Foot. Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
My bad.
That's probably your generally speaking, right? All things considered, unless there's friendly fire, that's probably your top 6 that you're looking at, right? And so to see such a great performance out of the other ones, I know we've said it a few times now in different ways, but that's great to see for NA. But we talked about curses earlier. I think we have to talk about it again. FK continues to not perform when it matters most on LAN. They do not even take a game off Karmine Corps in the grand finals after looking, pretty good against Redacted. Maybe Karmine Corps is just that good. Maybe First Killer vanishes a little bit, but they scored 5 goals, and Karmine Corps scored 7 in game 4. So,
As the First Killer defender, the nail in the coffin really was game 1, 1 minute into overtime. when LJ has a free touch to go upfield with the ball at midfield, and FK comes from off the sidewall and just cuts it, drops it dead center. Carmichael just scores it right off of it. Kofor was alone, dead to rights, had no chance, and got scored on. Quite literally from game one, first killer shot them in the foot. That would, if they won that game like they probably should have, because that felt like a game they were in control of. This series could possibly be completely different. But I think once first killer does the hero ball, he cuts off his own teammate and quite literally gives it to the other team and hands them the win. I think the nails in the coffin and the series was over. And for the first time as a defender, first killer really lost them the series there by doing his hero ball antics.
Yeah, I mean it's tough, right? And like I have nothing against him personally, right? I just like if you're gonna be one of the so-called NA Rocket League prodigies, you have to step up, right? When the lights are the brightest, you have to be your best, right? The best players are the best when it matters most, and it seems like consistently he is not. So I hope for his sake and for Shopify's sake and quite frankly for CJ's sake that he can, kind of figure it out and he can perform, because NA is better if they're good. If they win events, NA is better. Plain and simple. But until that happens, you can't count on it, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's brutal, it's tough, but yeah, it was clear as day. It's for the whole world to see. Literally in the grand finals, the hero ball just shoots the team in the foot, and unfortunately, it appears to have cost them a series because it was downhill from there. They didn't lose. There was not a single 1-goal game after that. That was it. That was the 1-goal game. So I think that was definitely their only chance, because their team was just looked deflated for the rest of the entire series. And yeah, Carmine goes on to sweep, and the big blue Thanos continues their domination even without Drawley.
Indeed. And then, and anything else that you want to touch on for the gauntlet bracket, NA or EU, before we jump over to the FIFA E World Cup?
All right. Well, I'm assuming you've already answered your question by now, but does First Killer technically have a LAN win through the regional?
I am still gonna say no, right? Like it's a regional. It's a good win, right? And good for them. But he's won regionals before.
But it was a LAN regional.
It was. And I'm unsure if he's won a DreamHack or anything like that.
I do not know. I don't know OG ball like that. I'm young legs to the game.
According to Google, he has not won a DreamHack event.
Yeah. This is I guess that regional kickoff LAN is the closest he's been literally to a LAN win.
Yeah.
And as we see, it's just so brutal because I was watching with so much excitement, and the second he cuts him off, my entire emotion just dropped. And the fact that they went on to score immediately, and there's no looking back after, it's just so hard to defend it after that. That was just such a boneheaded mistake, and because he quite literally stole it from his own teammate who was booming it upfield, or at least gonna try and make a play on it. And yeah, that was wraps. That was series, and EU gets a 5th spot now out of it.
Yeah, for sure. But anything else you wanna ask or add?
Oh, good. Get her gone.
Okay, the FIFA E World Cup. This kicks off on Monday. Very exciting to kind of see on this. The format for this event, there are 2 groups of 8. It is a double round robin, so every team will play each team in their group twice. This part is a little bit different unless you watched FIFA E last year. All matches are 2 games long. So you'll play 2 games against your opponent. You get 3 points for a win and 1 point for a tie. So if you win both games, you get 3 points. If you win one, you get 1 point. And if you win none, you get 0 points. The top 4 teams from each group will advance directly into a single elimination best of 7 playoff bracket. So that is how this series will work. Our groups are, in Group A, we have Saudi Arabia, Oman, the United States, Brazil, Chile, Germany, Italy, and Norway. In our Group B, we have Morocco, Australia, France, Malaysia, England, Belgium, South Africa, and the Netherlands. So all of the teams here, except for Saudi Arabia, won their qualifier and were able to move in. And Saudi Arabia was invited as the host nation. So for some of the prominent teams, the Saudi Arabia roster is Clears, Rawas, and TRK, the team that won this event last year. Our Australia team is Fever, Torsos, and Banana Head. South Africa is To Die For, Guns, and Snowy. Morocco, Drali, Nas, and Skyrix. They had Itachi before, but he has since retired. Our French team is Zen, Vatira, Juicy. Our Belgian team is Atau, Astral, and Reesfox. The Netherlands is Joria's Oli, Mike Boy. Italy is Arju, Devoof, and Hyder. We have the Furia roster of Yan, Swift, and Lost for Brazil. We have the NRG roster of Atomic Beast Mode and Daniel. And for Chile, we have Razebull, Davatrox, and Pan. I'll just do the rest of them now as well. For Norway, we have Wozen, Jup, and Bruckhay. Germany is Tox, Catalysm, and Raziers. England is Appjack, Archie, Joyo. The subs on that one are Toxic, no Rise, which is interesting. The Malaysian team is Sphinx, Blue, and Misty. And the Oman team is Abdullah, a different Abdullah than for ROC, Lumber, and Sultan. All three members of Nova Esports. So lots of interesting rosters, lots of high star power. But what teams are you most excited to watch play?
Without a doubt, this year, Team United States. I'm actually excited to watch them. Last year, unfortunately, being a Rebels doubter, I genuinely had negative faith in that team. I was a Gen G and Rebels doubter, unfortunately. Nothing against them. Obviously, Rebels one of the biggest personalities in the game, but that roster is just not built to compete. And as you can see by the performance and not even making it out of group stages, they weren't. But I'm excited to see Team England. Abjack wasn't there last year, right?
I don't believe so.
And so having him, Abjack, Joyo, Archie is honestly just such a cool team to see pairing up together. Saudi, obviously, I don't think it's the dream build just because there's no way you separate the twins, but I feel like Nobu and TRK got to find their way onto this roster together, but it's so hard to separate the twins. I feel like if you don't get one, you're not getting them both, or not getting either of them, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like they're just unfortunately stuck like that just because they're twins, and it's reasonable for them, understandable. But Juicy instead of Monkey Moon, I think is going to be interesting. Maybe some better luck out of Vatira and Zen. But last year I was a huge Belgian proponent or pusher, and I was correct. But it's purely just because of my belief in Atau, and Belgium definitely surprised everyone last year. So they are a good light, and yeah.
Also, I would like to mention Team France head coach for FIFA E, Farah. So don't discount that. Again, I'm with you. I like the Belgium roster. I like seeing Astral again on the world stage. Interesting that they went with Reesfox and not Compact, but hey, to each their own. I would imagine that they will again continue to. He is Compacts or sub. But I would continue to kind of see them doing well. But we're gonna go on the spot here a little bit, and we're gonna pick the 4 teams that we think are gonna make it out of each group. We'll do them independently. They might be the same, they might not. So from Group A, do you have the Wikipedia page up to see?
Yeah.
Okay. Out of Group A, who do you have making it out? It's only 4. It's only gonna be 4.
Yeah. And also, it's very matchup dependent, isn't it? They don't all play each other.
They do. Every team will play. So every team will play everyone in their group twice.
All right.
But it's only going to be 4 games total, right? So they do series of
The
2.
best of 2.
Yeah, best of 2.
Or whatever it is. Whoever.
Yeah.
You only play 2 games, not even a best of 2. If you go 1-1, that's it.
It's 1 point. Yep.
I mean, I feel like the obvious one is Saudi, United States. That's when things get a little bit more interesting as to who the other 2 would be. Personally, honestly, you can flip a coin. Give me Germany and Italy.
Okay. Interesting. Similar to you, I have Saudi and the USA. I think that they're just 2 of the more talented rosters. It wouldn't surprise me to see either of these teams on top of this group, but they should both make it out. I have Brazil. I believe in Yan and the Furia boys, and then it kind of comes down to.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, you're right. I just completely forgot about Brazil.
You want to switch? You're good. You can switch.
Probably. My bad. I didn't mean to cut you off, but definitely probably take out. I don't know which one I'd take out though, but I mean, obviously Brazil over them. I kept reading Brazil and going back to the Chile team. Like,
yeah, no, you're good. You're good. So for your the Germany team is Tox, Catalysm, and Raziers, and the Italy team is Arju, Devoof, and Hyder.
All right, I'm gonna take out Team Italy, dude. Brazil instead of Italy.
Fair. So similar to you, I'm looking at Norway. I'm not thinking that they make it out. I'm looking at Italy, and I don't think they make it out. I'm looking at Oman, and I definitely don't think they make it out. So that kind of leaves me with Italy, Germany, Chile for this last spot, or Germany and Chile for this last spot. So do I believe in the old heads here, so to speak, right? As a fellow old head, or do I believe in the bull? They looked good last year. They beat a kind of a Team USA B squad, so to speak. But for that reason, I am going to go Germany as well. So I think that we both have the same 4, but that I think that's kind of to be expected. But moving over to Group B, I can go first on this one since you went first on the last one, and the first team I'm picking is France. I just think that they are one of the most talented teams in this. They are the most talented team in this group and potentially in this tournament. So I would think that they will continue to do well. My next team that I have in here is England. I think that they are also good. I think the addition of Appjack will really help. I think they will really help the. What am I trying to say? The floor on this team. I think that the mental is really good. I think that he brings a certain something to this roster, which is awesome. My third team that I'm going to take here is going to be Belgium. I think that they are, again, like you mentioned, I'm a believer in a Tau. And this fourth team, oh man, I'm between Morocco and the Netherlands. Because Drali and Nas are just awesome, but in my eyes, Skyrix is a little bit of an unknown. And
the Sphinx doubter?
Not in the slightest. I just am not sure about blue or Misty.
Yeah, no. I want to believe in Sphinx, but there's no chance they do anything here.
I'm gonna say Netherlands. Maybe I'll be a little bit different here because I Oli has been phenomenal this year, and I think Jory has been kind of a little bit of a resurgence for him. He's been fantastic. So I got France, England, Belgium, and the Netherlands making it out of Group B. What about you?
I do not know. I'm going to be honest. It's kind of like you could pick any 4 at this point because there is definitely more than 4 that look good in this group. The obvious one, Team France, I think they're a shoo-in. If they don't make it out of group stages, that might honestly hinder Zen and Puppeteer's legacy. But yeah, I think France. I want to say England's a pretty safe bet. Did you say Netherlands?
I did. I said Belgium and Netherlands in addition to the 2 that you already said.
So you have Drali missing it.
Yes.
Do you think that? Yeah, it's hard.
I just don't know Skyrix.
Yeah. I think the emergence of Nas and how he's been performing, I think they make it out. I'm going to put Morocco in as the 3rd.
I think that's super safe.
The real question is the fourth team. As much as I love Atao's game, and I think he is the most underrated player in all of Rocket League. I'm gonna give it to Team Netherlands.
Okay.
Question: is Bacchus mod allowed on FIFA E stage?
I think so.
Does Australia have a chance with their different car tactics?
That is a phenomenal question. I am unsure. But I think that they probably surprise some people. I think that is a team with that wild card roster who made a top 6 at Worlds. I think that they could surprise some teams. They certainly have the chemistry. They've been playing together for probably for the longest outside of the NRG USA roster but hey, I don't think they'll be good enough to make it out, but I think that they could scare some teams.
Mm-hmm.
So then, last but not least, you're way too early. Who do you have winning the thing?
You want to be interesting. You want to get the attention. You want to get the clickbait and pick freaking Team Malaysia to win it all. But it's hard to see France not winning this, especially with watching Juicy play at the LAN with Fatira and how great they look together. Throwing Zen in the mix, assuming they don't. Because whenever Fatira's on the field with Zen turns into the worst player in Rocket League. So I don't know. Seems that he can never win anything if Zen's on the field or if Vatira's on the field, including when he is his teammate. I.e., last year losing to Saudi. But yeah, I think it's going to be France.
Okay.
It's kind of hard to go from. It's hard to believe in NRG. That the only thing I think is NRG's revenge, or they got to be on some sort of warpath after finishing top 12 in NA. But I think France is just the easiest and quite literally the most logical bet.
I think so too. However, I'm going to be different just for the sake of being different, and I'm going to say the USA. I think that the NRG roster will come back with an absolute vengeance after missing out on the first LAN of the season, and in the second LAN of the season, though it is not RLCS, they will come back with a vengeance and they will win. I think that they beat France in the grand finals.
It's going to be so tough.
It will be. Well, because we already know the script, right? Like, whatever, Carmine Corps is going to come and win in Boston because we can't have nice things, and then an NA team's going to win in Paris because they can't have nice things in Paris, and then Monkey Moon's going to win Worlds at Dickies again for the third time with Mina, and that's where we're at.
It was going to be crazy. All right, my prediction. I'm doing my too early prediction. Carmine Corp wins LAN 1. Twisted Mind wins. Ooh, what if I do Twisted Mind then Carmine Corp? Ooh, I think those two win, and then I don't even know who wins Worlds. I kind of want to.
Monkey Moon and Dickies again for the third time.
He's not on a French team though. So how does that operate? I think. You know who wins Worlds? Shopify Rebellion.
That would be insane.
It's gonna go Twisted, Carmine, Shopify Rebellion.
Damn, that would be crazy.
I'm getting too ahead of myself.
Absolutely.
What was the
crazy.
question?
But that is
use of the script. That's what it was.
Yeah. But that is all that we have in terms of new Rocket League news, previews, RLCS stuff. The RLCS season will pick back up after the new year. So this is the last kind of major tournament we have until Open number 2. So please make sure that you go watch. Please make sure that you enjoy and root on your country or your favorite players. But is there anything else that you wanted to mention about FIFA E before we wrap up for today?
Not a FIFA question, just the Quilly question. Where do you think Energy places to the number in the next Open?
First.
You think they win the whole thing?
Yes.
I really got no guess. It sucks that we have to wait so long for Open number 2 after getting that peak of Rocket League.
It really is. Like we got a little fix, right? And then just a little bit, and then now I feel like I'm jittery. I'm like, guys, need more. Come on.
We're gonna get FIFA E, and then we're gonna get another gap for the holidays. I believe.
Yeah, no, it's not till the new year, right? So The next NA Open will be the 16th of January to the 25th of January. So we got
Oh my god!
a little over a month. We're a little over a month away. Except that's Open number 1. Open number 2 for EU will be starting the 9th of January and ending the 18th. So we're just under a month away from RLCS action, but a little over a month for NA RLCS action. So a little bit to look forward to, but some time off for all the players and the fans to enjoy with family and spend some time away from the game, and maybe for the NRG boys to play some more Rust.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. I cannot believe it's December. We already got RLCS Rocket League. We're getting FIFA E, and we get some holiday break, and then we get some more back into the action. Straight up, friendly fire, open regionals.
We're about 2 months away from Boston.
That's truly yeah.
February 14th.
Oh my god! Holy shit!
That's what I'm saying. Like, I got my flights. We have the group of people that we're going to an Airbnb with. It hasn't been booked yet, but we have the group. It's like we're getting the cameras are getting ready. Like we're dusting off our stuff. Like, it's exciting.
Yeah, the excitement cannot be explained. Yeah, there's a lot to look forward to. Tons of Rocket League. This is Rocket League. Please USA win FIFA E. Did you said USA was your prediction?
Yep.
So you have them winning this, and then you're guessing them winning Regional 1. Are you guessing just like a rampage after? Do you got them winning Boston?
No, second place.
Second place to Carmine Corp.
Yeah.
You son of a bitch.
Sorry.
They're inevitable, dude.
The fucking evil empire. I say that for a reason.
Yeah, I don't
Thanos.
think it was that when I mentioned the first killer stuff, not to go on a tangent again, but when I mentioned how he went hero ball and cut it off, that's how good Carmine Corp is, that you need to play a flawless game from start to finish. You mess up once in game 1, that pretty much sealed the fate of the series, because Carmine Corp, Vatira himself is that insanely good. Him and Atau might be the Shaq and Kobe, the LeBron and any duo he had, the Jordan and Pippen of Rocket League. They are just so fluid with each other. They're so consistent. They never mess up in their rotations or their passes or just where to be on the field. I feel like they might have made Drawley. it honestly, with how Falcons looked against Twisted, they might have made Drawley a little bit better than he seemed to be, because they're just that consistent and that great. It's just so hard to beat them. It literally, and like I said, it only takes one mistake and that's it. It's GG's. They're just gonna beat you down, and there's nothing you could do about it. So the fact that beating this team, the fact that Vatira doesn't have a Worlds win is the biggest blemish on his resume, because it's just whenever Worlds Vatira just never shows up, and it's just that Carmine Corp, dude, they're so evil.
Like, Vatira took over, and he's not. I don't even think he's the best player on that team. He's incredible, but I think Atau's better. Like, it's unreal. They're a phenomenal team, and they have unlimited potential.
Their cohesion is just so unmatched.
They are. And I don't know many other teams that could, make a roster change and a coaching change and still be that good. That's the team.
Because I don't think they used a single timeout in all of because they had timeouts, and I think in the regional. That was the first time they had timeouts in a regional, I believe. And
well, they had timeouts in best of 5 series.
Yeah, that was unseen. They went to 7 with Nip. Did they use one?
I'm checking right now.
That's why I'm trying to find it. I got too many things open. But I feel like that would be the only time they would have possibly used one was the Game 7 in the Open. Or Game 7 of the Open.
Yeah, no team took a timeout in Carmine versus 2 Danes, 1 Bruv. Carmine did not take one against Vitality. And they took one against NIP after Game 3.
They took the timeout?
Yeah, Carmine did, because they were down 2-1. They took the timeout, they lost Game 4, and then they won 3 straight.
So I used one timeout. Dang it. That would have been so tough if they just literally never used one, just straight belt the ass the whole time. But no. I mean, they still came out victorious that series too. That series was crazy. The series themselves too. Not even on top of that, just how good the production was, just the series from start to finish. They were all so great. All right, we circled back. All right, we're restarting the episode. So, what happened at the kickoff? No, it just can't be stressed enough from my perspective of the experience. It was insane. Everything about it. Give me more of that. Just the LAN environment. Nothing compares to it. And I cannot wait for Boston to be there live and in person.
I can't either. But with that, I think it's a great time to wrap up this episode. So we'd like to thank you all so much for listening. We'd like to remind everyone that this podcast is proudly brought to you by our name-level supporters on Patreon, Alyssa B. Please remember to rate us 5 stars wherever you listen to podcasts. Share the show. Tell a friend. It all helps us grow our audience and improve the show. Remember to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, TikTok, and Twitch, which we're live recording on right now. And come join our Discord. Make sure to support us by checking out our merch store and our Patreon. This is how we fund the show and do giveaways in the future. All of these links and more can be found on our website at boostoverball.com. And from us here on the show, as always, remember to choose Boost over Ball. See ya.
Thanks for listening to the Boost Over Ball podcast. Make sure to check out our website at boostoverball.com.